The mysterious death of Marilyn Monroe. On the night of August 4th, 1962, the world's brightest star flickered out in a way that has left the world questioning ever since. Marilyn Monroe, the ultimate Hollywood icon, was found dead in her Los Angeles home. Officially, it was ruled a probable suicide, a tragic overdose of barbiturates. But was it truly that simple? Her death was a mystery then, and it remains a tangled web of secrets, lies, and eerie coincidences that have fueled speculation for over 6 decades. At just 36 years old, Marilyn Monroe was more than a movie star. She was an enigma. Beneath her dazzling smile and breathy laugh lay a woman plagued by insecurity, heartbreak, and the relentless pressures of fame. Her life, a meteoric rise from foster homes to international superstardom, seemed almost too perfect a Hollywood story. But behind the glamour, Marilyn battled demons, failed marriages, career setbacks, and a dependency on pills that blurred the line between her private agony and public persona. The timeline of her final hours reads like a scene from a noir thriller. Her housekeeper, Eunice Murray, reported seeing Marilyn alive around 8 p.m., speaking on the phone and appearing calm. Yet by the early hours of August 5th, something had gone horribly wrong. Murray claimed she awoke around 3 a.m., sensing something was amiss. When she saw light under Marilyn's locked bedroom door, she panicked. Entering the room with the help of Marilyn's psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, they discovered her lifeless body face down on the bed, clutching a telephone receiver as if trying to make one last desperate call. The official autopsy confirmed a lethal dose of barbiturates in her system, nembutyl and chloral hydrate to be exact. The coroner ruled it a probable suicide. But even in death, nothing about Marilyn Monroe was ordinary. Almost immediately, whispers of foul play began to swirl. The inconsistencies in the investigation were glaring. For starters, why did it take so long for authorities to be notified? The LAPD wasn't called until nearly 5 hours after Marilyn was discovered. What happened during that gap? Why were certain items, like Marilyn's diary, a journal rumored to contain explosive secrets, never recovered? And why was her home scrubbed clean before investigators could conduct a thorough search? Then, there were the strange details at the scene itself. Despite the overdose ruling, no drinking glass was found near her bed, raising the question of how she could have ingested the pills. Some reports suggest that bruises were found on her body, though they were never mentioned in the official autopsy. And then there were the phone calls. In the days leading up to her death, Marilyn had reportedly been on edge, making frantic calls to friends, her lawyer, and even her ex-husband, Joe DiMaggio. To her confidants, she seemed troubled but far from suicidal. One friend, actor Peter Lawford, claimed Marilyn called him hours before her death, her voice slurred, saying chillingly, "Say goodbye to the president." Yes, the president. No discussion of Marilyn Monroe's death is complete without delving into her alleged connections to John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert. By 1962, rumors of an affair between Marilyn and JFK were an open secret in Hollywood. Some accounts suggest that when the president distanced himself, she turned to his brother Bobby. Whether this was out of love or revenge is unclear, but what is certain is that Marilyn was privy to the inner workings of one of America's most powerful families, and that alone may have sealed her fate. Some theorists believe Marilyn's death was orchestrated to protect the Kennedys from scandal. There are claims that Robert Kennedy visited her home the night she died, a detail vehemently denied by his family. Others suggest she was silenced because of the secrets she knew, details about political dealings, the mafia, or even classified information allegedly whispered to her during pillow talk. Speaking of the mafia, their shadow looms large over this story. Marilyn's ties to Frank Sinatra and his associates placed her squarely within a network of powerful men who played dangerous games. Some speculate that her death was a warning to the Kennedys, a chilling message about crossing the wrong people. Of course, skeptics argue that the conspiracy theories are just that, fantasies born of our unwillingness to accept that someone so luminous could die in such a mundane, tragic way. Marilyn, they say, was a woman overwhelmed by the weight of her fame, her personal struggles, and the toxic swirl of people around her. But the questions won't go away. Decades after her death, new information continues to emerge. Declassified FBI files reveal that Marilyn was under surveillance in her final months, her connections to the Kennedys and other influential figures raising suspicions. Private detectives, former agents, and journalists have all dug into her case, each uncovering new fragments of a puzzle that may never be fully solved. Perhaps that's why Marilyn's story endures. Her death, like her life, is shrouded in a mystique that invites us to look closer, to peel back the layers of legend and find the truth underneath. But maybe the real tragedy is that Marilyn Monroe, the woman, has been lost in the noise of her own myth. She was more than a starlet, more than a symbol. She was Norma Jean, an imperfect, vulnerable human being who craved love and struggled to find peace. And perhaps the greatest mystery of all is why the world couldn't give her that peace in life, or even in death. As we sift through the shadows of her story, one thing becomes clear. Marilyn Monroe was a woman who lived and died on the razor's edge of history, leaving behind a legacy as haunting as it is unforgettable. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe